Hello and welcome to my channel. This week I will be reviewing The Perfect Match Season 2. Every day I'm going to try to post about 2 videos recapping and reviewing. Right now they posted I think 6 episodes, so if you don't see any more episodes, that means I'm waiting for the next round, which I think comes out on June 14th. Don't quote me on that, but I will post them as they come out. So every day I'm going to try to do 2 episodes. If I'm busy that day, I'll only post 1 episode, but I'm going to try to get to all of them this week for sure. And this show kind of reminds me of an old show. I don't know if it's still on. I know I watched it in the past, but I don't know if it's still on because I just don't watch MTV like that. And I'm pretty sure it was an MTV show. It was called like Are You the One? So it's very similar where you need to like find your perfect match, but on Are You the One, it was more of like they had experts actually match everybody and you needed to figure out who were the perfect matches, like by the actual people, like who were the perfect matches, which caused a lot of drama because people would fall in love with people who are not their match and they would just completely throw the game because they refuse to find who their perfect match is, even though everybody's like, y'all are in a toxic relationship. We know y'all are not the perfect match and y'all are ruining everybody else's game. This one is a little bit different because they don't have experts matching people. It's more of just like a dating show and then everybody votes who they believe is like the perfect couple. I kind of like Are You the One better though because everybody had a perfect match at the end of the day, regardless if they ended up with them or not. I mean, at least you would know an expert matched y'all. So if outside the show, if things didn't work out with the person that you were with, you could, try things out with that person because expert wise, y'all were matched up anyways. But this one, you can leave the house without a perfect match. You can leave with nobody at all. So, even though they're similar, they're very different in their own ways. So there are 10 people in the house total at all times. There are 5 girls and 5 guys. So every night you need to match up with somebody. So this can be the same person that you matched up with the night before. This can be somebody new, but you have to match up with somebody and you spend the night together in the same room. And then the next day they have like a compatibility challenge to test like can they take this relationship further? And if you win that compatibility challenge, then you can go on a date. And on top of going on a date, you get to go to a thing called the boardroom where you can choose new singles to come into the house. And the whole premise of the game is you want to be the perfect match at the end of the game. So if you see there's another couple that is like a good contender to win that spot, you want to break them up. So when they're going in choosing new singles, they want to break up good couples and match them with somebody else that they think will shake it up a little bit. Now, just because they match them up does not mean these people will stay matched up together. So when they match them up, they go on a date. So after that date, they can choose to either match up with the new guy or new girl who just came into the house, or they can stay matched up to their original partner and that new person can try to steal somebody else's partner. Or the new person can find nobody at all and leave the same day. But on top of that, whoever at the end of the night, like I said, there are 5 girls, there are 5 guys, so it's perfect pair, 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 pair. So whatever 2 people are left at the end of the night without a pair have to go home. This is not like those shows. I know we've all watched some reality dating shows and there's that one person there who's just like friends with everybody. They're nice to have around, very funny, very chill. But you're like, this is a dating show. You came here to make friends. This is a dating show. You need to get busy. Yeah, there's no time for that. There's absolutely no time for that. If you're going to be that character, they're kicking you off, okay? Either you're here to find love and you are matched up with somebody making a connection or you got to go. So I kind of like it in that regards because those characters really irk me. It's like somebody else could have been here trying to find love right now. You're just being a friend of everybody. We don't need friends. This is a dating show. Make friends outside of this. Make friends at the reunion show. I don't know, but that's not what this is for right now. In the end, everybody, even the people who were kicked out previously, will come back and vote on who they believe is the perfect match. And that couple will win an all paid expenses luxury trip. This is very different from other shows because, normally they offer like a cash reward. So I kind of like that they switched it up because in a lot of those shows, it'll end up just being about the money and people will completely just give up on like actually finding their perfect match. It's just like, let's just win this money. And I understand because I don't think they get paid a lot for these episodes. They're not like a Real Housewife or anything. So from what I've seen online, they don't get paid a lot because they're just not a recurring character like that. So I understand why they go so hard for the cash reward, but I like that they switched it up with this because maybe you could get some more genuine people on here if all you can win is, I guess, some clout and a trip. Hopefully you would have better intentions to come on the show if that's all that they're really offering you. And I mean, you're already in Mexico filming this. I mean, you already kind of got a trip, so you might as well come with the best of intentions. But obviously, there's always going to be that one person who just ruins it for everybody else. So, but we'll get to that one in a minute. We'll get to him in a minute. So let's introduce the cast. First up, we have Tolu from The Trust Season 1. Steven from Too Hot to Handle Season 3. He says people often say he looks like Pete Davidson or Machine Gun Kelly. I can see Machine Gun Kelly, but nowhere near Pete Davidson. Brighton from Squid Game The Challenge Season 1. His tagline was "Red lights, red flags." That sums up everything you need to know about him. Xanthi, The Circle Season 5. Dominique, Too Hot to Handle Season 4. Izzy, Love is Blind Season 5. Kaz, Dated and Related Season 1. Elise, Too Hot to Handle Season 5. Micah, Love is Blind Season 4. Harry, Too Hot to Handle Season 1. So the first game that they played was like a get to know you game. It wasn't a challenge, but it was let it roll. So one dice would have a person's face on it and one dice would have an action that you have to do to that person that you rolled. So Dominique has already expressed interest in Brighton by this point. So she rolls for him and she gets to ask him a truth or dare question. She leads with some bedroom questions. She asks him multiple questions about the bedroom. And I'm like, if you're here for something serious that, like you said, I just don't trust when people lead with the physical. Because, like, are you looking for something serious? Because that can all come later. You need to be trying to form, like, an emotional connection, intellectual connection. Like, you're trying to get to know these people and you lead with just the bedroom. And also, people can lie. Like, you should have been asking him, was he here for the right reasons? Because, girl, no, he wasn't. He doesn't care about forming an actual connection. He just wants to win. And like I already said, they're only winning a trip somewhere. So, you came here for a trip. You're already on a trip. You're in Mexico. You're already on a trip. I don't like Brighton. He is the most unlikable person I have ever seen. Like, we're going to get into him more later because I just can't. I can't with him, but Dominique has her eyes only on him. Brighton has his eyes only on the prize. Whether that's with Dominique or somebody else, he doesn't care as long as he wins. Now, Harry was very interesting for me because I kind of changed my position on him as like the show went on, but I'm only going to talk from episode 1's perspective. Like as it goes on, then I will, change my perspective as it goes on. But he was very interesting because he led with, in this game, they switched to his confessional and he's like, I just want to leave here with no STDs. What? Like, why? Like, you're already assuming, first off, that any girl in here would want you like that. And also multiple girls for you to be worried about STDs. But you're here for something serious. Okay. Got it. I got it. You're here for something serious, but of course, no STDs. No STDs, because that's how we find something serious. Yep. Just like that. But he's looking for a girlfriend he can grow old with, but not wrinkly, because he has Botox. Love that for him. Kaz also let us know that he's made 90% of his girlfriends. We didn't need to know that. we didn't need to know that. Like, once again, why are you leading with the physical? And I find that most of the time when people lead like that, they're actually very bad. They're overcompensating, okay? Like an expert, they're going to be quiet. They're going to be quiet. Why do you feel the need to tell everybody that? I mean, and he talked multiple times about his expertise. Let's just put it that way. Can we get some receipts on this? Can we get some girls to actually come out and say this? Because you saying it multiple times, I'm not buying it. I'm not. I'm sorry, because why do you need to mention it that many times? Why do you need us to know that? An expert is quiet. Izzy feels like an outsider because he is the oldest and also the shortest in the house at 5'10". I don't think he should feel bad or feel like an outsider. Honestly, girls love older guys. I love older guys. They're more mature. They have their mess together. But for some reason, he feels like the outsider. I mean, he should have just used it to his advantage. And as for height, I mean, that's always just like a personal issue. Just because you feel like you're short, a lot of women will not care. Honestly, there are some who are like, I want a 6-foot guy no matter what. I don't think it matters. Honestly, I don't like guys that are shorter than me, but as long as you're taller and I can wear my heels, I don't care. Like, I'm 5'5". I'm probably not going to be wearing 6-inch heels. Max, if they're like thick heels, probably 4 inches. So as long as you're like 5'8", 5'9", it doesn't really matter. But that's a girl to girl thing, like I said. So he should just walk around with confidence, because there's going to be somebody that likes him and doesn't care about his height. If somebody likes you only because of your height, you probably shouldn't be with them anyways, because that's weird. We shouldn't be determining love on height alone. But yeah, he feels like an outsider. I don't really remember his season of Love is Blind. I know I watched it. I remember watching it, but I don't remember it. So I don't remember how he was on the show. I need to go back and see, because watching through these first 2 episodes, I really did feel bad for him. But I need to go back and see how he was on Love is Blind, because it could be different. It could be different. He could have been a villain on Love is Blind. I can't remember like that. So I need to go back and see. But from this show, I did feel a little bit bad for him. But we'll talk about why later on. So Harry is talking to Tolu, and she's explaining that she's Nigerian and that's where her name comes from. And she's wearing these little pretty African earrings of the actual shape of Africa. And he literally goes, I thought that was Antarctica. When was the last time you heard somebody talk about Antarctica? When was the last time you saw anybody wear earrings shaped as Antarctica? Who doesn't know how to identify the shape of Africa? When I see a map, my eyes go straight to Africa. It's literally the most distinctive continent on the map. What are you talking about? I would have stopped talking to him at that exact moment, because who can't identify Africa? And if you thought they were Antarctica, you should have just kept that right there in your mind, sweetie. You shouldn't have said a word. Why would you even say that? Who says that? Why would your first thought be Antarctica? Like, I would have took South America over Antarctica. Like, really? Tolu was honest with Harry and told him how her first initial thoughts about him showing up was that he was an F-boy. He said that was not nice and that he is now a changed man and to not judge him by his previous red flags. Now, I understand you not wanting somebody to judge you by your past, but you have to understand this is the reputation that you have put out there. Like, you have literally bragged about 3 of your exes being on the first season. You bragged about the winner of the first season. Yeah, his girl cheated on him with you. So, I mean, this is the reputation that you have. This is the representation you have put out about yourself. Also, with you dating so many people in the Netflix universe, it's no surprise that word has gotten around. I'm sure all these people like co-mingle and talk, and I'm sure the ladies have talked. I'm sure the ladies probably heard that you were coming on this show and decided to warn all the other girls. So it's not that surprising. You shouldn't really be shocked by that. You can be annoyed by that, but I mean, you should be annoyed probably by yourself because this is what you have done yourself. It's not like you walked in and you just like gave F-boy vibes and she just judged you like actually like a book by its cover. It's the fact that this is actually like how you have acted and put yourself out there into the world. Like you were actually an F-boy at one point. So until you prove them otherwise and actually show them that you are a changed man, you cannot just say, I'm a changed man, believe me. Like anybody would be cautious of somebody who acts this way. Like if you know a perpetual bachelor and now all of a sudden they're saying, I want to take you serious out of all the 100 of the girls I've been with, you're going to be a little cautious there because what makes you different from everybody else? So I don't see why he's so shocked. He can be a little bit annoyed by it, but hey, your past relationships are on full display for everybody to see. You can't be shocked by it. You can be annoyed by it, but you can't be shocked by it. So you should be prepared by these comments. I mean, honestly, you should probably hear it a lot from what I've heard from like everybody on the show, everybody, all the girls already know about you. You shouldn't be shocked. I don't know why you're shocked about it. Dominique's first mistake was matching with Brighton. She clearly wants something more out of this whole situation. I mean, she's talking about we're going to watch this movie once we get out of here, and he's like, why are you thinking about the future? Why are you thinking that far ahead? Like, he is not here for that. Like, if that does not scream he's not thinking about the future, especially with you, he's not here for that. This is all a game for him. This is all a money grab, but they're only winning a trip somewhere. He's just here for the clout, girl. He's just here for the clout. And I literally laughed when he was like, I don't like all that fake stuff and it's all about respect and keeping it straight. Yet he is none of that. Like, you were not keeping it straight. You were very fake. Like, why don't you be straight up with her and tell her, hey, I'm not here for all of that. I'm here because this is a game and I like to win. She clearly wants something more, so go ahead and let her move on with her life. But no, you went ahead and matched with her because it was something easy and to keep you in the house for now because nobody else wants you. I'm sorry. Nobody else wants you. But yeah, that was Dominique's first mistake, was matching with him. Harry does seem to have changed. He said he's been in therapy and he seems genuinely embarrassed by his previous relationships and actions. And he's ready to date to marry, which a lot of people in LA do not take too well to, which I have heard it is hard to date in LA. So, I mean, honestly, come to the South. Everybody seems to be engaged or married down here if you're really trying to date to marry and you're serious about it. But he ends up matching with Elise. Now, Izzy is here for Micah. They both come from the Love is Blind universe, so it's not surprising that he has seen her season. But he did come off very strong, like in the beginning. He just came out the gate. You could tell he was nervous, but it was way too much. Like, it is okay to say you've seen her season. Y'all both came from the same show. I'm sure she has probably seen your season too, or at least some other people's seasons. And it's okay to say you've seen her TikToks. I mean, y'all are both public figures. Of course, you probably come across her social media. But it got weird when he started, like, listing things off about her. He's like, don't you have a dog, right? You know she has a dog. Like, the way you asked it, you know she has a dog. Like, that's where it started to get weird. Because you can see plenty of people on social media, and unless, like, their dog is their main piece of content, I probably couldn't tell you anybody that has a dog on social media. To say like, oh, you like this, you like that, you've done this and that. Also, I watch a lot of people on social media. I probably can't tell you any of that stuff about them because I don't keep a list or analog of all these things. So that's where it started to get a little bit creepy because like you're actually keeping tabs and notes on her. That's where it got creepy. If he had just said like, I've seen your season, fine. We're both from the same show. Of course you've seen my season. I've seen you around social media. Not surprising either. But to just sit there listing off all this stuff you've seen on her social media like you already know her, that's where it got weird. Because if y'all were to sit here and have a conversation, are you going to let her tell you about herself, or are you going to tell her everything that you already know about her? Also, remember, people can put out two different lives on social media. So it's like, if you think you already know her, can you actually sit here and genuinely get to know her for her true self? Like, next time, just let her tell her about yourself. Tell you about herself. Don't tell her what you already know. That's where it got really weird. But of course, they did not match up because Micah said he reminded her of her ex Paul, and he's a little bit of a nerd. I felt really bad for Izzy because you could tell he was so nervous and he was so into her, but it was just the approach. Work on the approach next time. That was the only problem. Micah tries to immediately lock it down with Kaz. Now, Micah has only talked to two people at this point, and that is Kaz and Izzy. Obviously, we know she does not like Izzy. I guess she had her eyes on Kaz this whole time, but Kaz is like, pump the brakes. Like, when he first sat down, they both said that they had only talked to a few people, and he told her he was also interested in Xanthi. So of course he wants to explore that first before making a decision. I do think Xanthi was his first choice though. But yeah, he's like, pump the brakes. Let's talk to a few other people first before you just try to lock it on down. So Cass leaves Micah to go talk to Xanthi. And Micah has to get busy talking because, like I said, she's only talked to two people at this point. So if Kaz matches with Xanthi, Micah, if she doesn't talk to somebody else, she might have to go back to Izzy. But Izzy can clearly see that Micah's not into him. So he goes and explores his options, and he goes to talk to Tolu, which they have a very good connection. I think they were vibing very well, and they ended up matching. And they're both also from Houston, so that works out if they're both actually looking for long-term relationships like they both said. And if they are really serious, like, that's a good thing that they're both in the same city, so that could truly work out for the best if that is a good viable relationship. I think Steven and Xanthi would make a cute couple, but Xanthi doesn't want to go for her usual bad boy type, so she decides to match up with Kaz. Cass describes her accent as Harley Quinn, cute but slightly psycho. I don't even know what that means. So that leaves Micah and Steven to match up together. They give more friend vibes. Obviously, they had to match up with each other because they were the last two left. Like I said, Micah curved Izzy. Izzy found him another match. And Micah and Steven's main options matched with each other. So they were the last two left. They matched up together. They're giving more friend vibes, but who knows? Opposites could attract. Stuff could change. Once they get to know each other a little bit better, who knows? It may work out for the best. But for tonight, those are the 5 couples. So it is night 1. These people have only met a few hours ago, and Brighton and Dominique are already arguing about what? Yoga being a workout. Who argues about something so stupid so fast? So all the other couples can hear them arguing at this point because their rooms are all next door to each other. There is absolutely no way anybody is going to vote y'all as the perfect match. Like, y'all are arguing night 1 about if yoga is a workout. Really? And Dominique thinks the way he is talking is a turn on. Girl, what? Girl, what? Anybody else would think that is a complete ick. Like, you're over here comparing an everyday workout to a bodybuilder's workout. Like, that doesn't even make sense. There are multiple ways to work out, and as long as she's moving her body every day, and I mean, she has a good looking body, so I mean, keep doing whatever you're doing at this point. Like, I mean, she's probably more flexible than any bodybuilder out there, so who cares? Like, why is this an argument right now? Also, she needs to learn the difference between banter and full out disrespect. Like, he is talking to you so condescendingly right now. This is not cute. This is not sexy. This is not banter. Like, what? what are y'all actually arguing about right now? And then he had the nerve to tell her, if this is going to work out, you need to open your mind. Could not be me. I would have kicked us both off the show at that exact moment. Could not be me. How are you going to tell her to open up her mind while your mind is locked up like Fort Knox? Literally the most unlikable person I have ever seen. They get to their first compatibility challenge and they have to move this platform over the water using only their body weight and body movement. So Dominique is going straight talking strategy. She's like, okay, we need, and she's using all these technical terms. She's like force, mass, acceleration. I was like, girl, you remember all that from school? Because I'm like, I'm thinking about junior high science class. I was like, girl, you remember that? I don't remember that. So obviously Brighton's like intimidated because she clearly knows what she's talking about over here. I was impressed. I wasn't even thinking about what her college major was, but I guess he was, because he was like, well, what was your major in college? First off, what does that have to do with anything? Like, we all studied that in school. Like I said, it took me back to science class. I mean, I didn't major in anything science or engineering or anything, but even I remembered that. Probably couldn't do it, probably couldn't pull it off the top of my head, but I still remember it. So I don't know why he went straight to, well, what was your college major? As long as she knows what she's talking about, who cares what her college major is? Like, her college major could have been business. She still knows what she's talking about, but her college major was engineering. So she knows what she's talking about. She knows what she's talking about. I think he got intimidated when she started talking about some force plus mass equals acceleration. He got real intimidated real fast. So he tried to cut her down real quick, but no, the girl is smart. She was an engineer major. She might not have the best of judgment in men, but she's smart. So you can't take that away from her. He tries to say, well, I just think you're bad at explaining. No, she's not bad at explaining. You're just not smart enough to keep up. And she's working with a therapist. So you're working with a therapist, and you and your therapist have both identified that you are attracted to toxicity and arguing. Why has it not been rectified? Like, do you need a new therapist? Or does your therapist need a therapist at this point? Like, is your therapist burnt out from trying to explain to you that this is not the path you want to take, and you're just like, I'm going to identify it and keep going down it anyways? Somebody check on her therapist at this point. Harry and Elise win the challenge with Dominique and Brighton coming in second place. Brighton accredits their win to looking over at Harry and Elise. Yeah, Dominique told you to do just that in the first place, but you refused to listen to her. And so she's trying to explain to him, like, that's what I told you to do in the first place. And he's like, are you blaming me? Yeah, I would have pushed him straight off that platform into that water. He's definitely the type of person who doesn't like to be wrong. That is just such an obnoxious trait to have. Like, if you're right, sure, argue till you go blue in the face about you being right. But when you're just so clearly wrong, just go ahead and admit that you're wrong. So I understand her frustration. She started crying because it's really frustrating trying to explain to somebody like you're right, but they refuse to be wrong. Like that's the most annoying thing. But so she starts crying because he's just not listening to her. Everybody else didn't even really move their platforms an inch. So maybe they should have been looking at Harry and Elise to get some pointers, because they didn't even move an inch off the starting point. Harry and Elise go on their one-on-one date. Nothing too exciting happened. Elise in her confessional did admit that she wants to take things slow with Harry, just simply because of his past, and take things with a little bit of precaution, which is understandable. But obviously she didn't say that to him, because we know he's a little bit sensitive about that. But of course, girl, take it slow, because I mean, he does have a past. Like I said, he can't be shocked that people are cautious of his past. But then they go to the boardroom where they need to pick 2 new single men to come into the house. Thank God they matched Dominique up with somebody else. Like, thank you. Like, I know the whole point is like to break up strong couples, but for everybody's sake, get Brighton out that house. I'm sorry, get him out that house. So I'm hoping she chooses this new guy or the other new guy. If she needs to steal the other new guy from somebody else, I don't care. Just get Brighton out of this house because he's obnoxious to look at. But they have trouble choosing the second guy. So the first guy they chose for Dominique is a guy from Dated and Related. And I watched their season, so I remember him. I don't remember him being too genuine on that show. I feel like that show was kind of like adjacent to Too Hot to Handle. But maybe he's changed. Elise says she knows him and he's changed, or he's genuine rather. So we shall see. I would take anything over Brighton, honestly, on the screen. So please bring him in. But they had trouble finding the second guy because Elise really wanted to bring in Dom, but Dom and Harry share 2 exes, one of which cheated on Dom with Harry. So we don't really know what happened with that situation yet. They go back to the house and announce that Dominique and Tolu will be going on dates with the 2 new singles. It was so satisfying watching Brighton get so nervous that Dominique was going on a date with somebody else. Sir, you are way too cocky for no reason. Any girl would be happy to leave you on site. Like, you're way too cocky for no reason at all. So I'm ready for her to leave him. He got so worried. It was so funny. Like, his whole demeanor changed. Like, he changed real quick. Like, he wanted to act like he was all chill. He was not chill. He was not chill at all. And then, so obviously Tolu was also going on a date, so Izzy's a little bit worried about that too because he hasn't really connected with anybody else in the house, but he still wants Micah, so maybe this is an opportunity for him and Micah to connect. We shall see in the next few episodes, but then we end the episode with the big reveal that they did in fact match Tolu up with Dom. So Dom is now coming into the house, and we shall see how these 2 dates shake things up. So I looked at the calendar and there are 6 days until June 14th. So actually I'm only going to post 1 review and recap per day starting today. So please check back each and every day for the new recap and review of The Perfect Match Season 2. And then, of course, when the new episode comes out June 14th, I will release that new recap and review. Please, let's have a discussion in the comment sections. What were your thoughts on each person, each relationship, each episode? But please keep the discussion tailored to the specific episode the video is about. So if you want to discuss episode 5, please wait for me to release the recap and review of episode 5 to discuss in that comment section. Let's just keep the discussion tailored to this specific episode, if that makes sense. So, like, no spoilers. I'm sure most people have binge watched it all at once, but there are some people who haven't binge watched it. There are some people who may not have Netflix and they want to just watch the recaps in order and not have any spoilers. So please just keep it tailored to the specific episode of the video. And I will see you tomorrow for The Perfect Match Season 2, Episode 2, recap and review.